Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and this is the second session of our short campaign of Alas for the Awful Sea. This is a game by Hayley Gordon and V. Hendro that's powered by the Apocalypse and is set in the British Isles in the 19th century. It's a game about life, death, desperation, folklore, and the mysteries of the human heart. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, find out who they are and who they're playing, and let us once again start with Brittany. Hello.
Hi, I'm Brittany. You can find me on social media at Casual Halfling, and I am playing Orla Rowan today, the surgeon and creature playbooks.
Yes. It's always important to have a creature surgeon. It's very good. And Levi, hey.
Hey, I am Levi, and I will be playing Elias McLean, the captain and the kinsman.
Excellent. Captain Kinsman. Good, good. It's any time someone, and that's the thing is that I've noticed in these streams when you have someone playing the captain, I just inevitably my brain, when I see both the role and the descriptor on there, I turn them into a superhero. I can't stop myself. But let us then say hello to Michi. Hello.
Hello, I am Michi. You can find me on Twitch and social media as Witty Michi. I will be playing Evie Larkspur, the Merchant Outcast.
Excellent, excellent. And Speedy, hello.
Hello. My name is Speedy. You can find me at Roar's Not So Speedruns. I use he, him pronouns. And I am playing as Barney Wright, the old sea dog believer.
Excellent, excellent. And finally, Vivacia, hello.
Hello. So I'm Vivacia. You can find me at Twitch at Vivacia, on the Twitter as Mrs. Vivacia, and I will be playing Lily Martin, the cook and the confidant. So I cook and I know things.
Excellent. Good, good. All right. So, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. And if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we will back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, then we can put an O in the chat to let folks know that we're okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Alternatively, something we can do is we can put an O with a question mark after it when we are moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O, and just let us know if we're still doing okay. So, we did a lot of stuff building last time, centering mostly on the characters, figuring stuff out related to them, and a few things about the setting. Just involving sort of local folklore and conflicts that we're going to be exploring. We're going to be exploring things not unlike basically what boils down to fear versus starvation, and what is legal versus what is right. So we're going to kind of be looking into that in these communities. Those are the conflicts that are powering them. But the communities themselves that we're dealing with, I have to say, actually, this is going to be a different tone even from the closest thing in tone that I think this is going to end up to that I've had on this channel before is Mashed, in that this is much more. I think this is going to be much more of a slow burn over these 3 sessions, as we're sort of exploring things, seeing what's going on. I think that violence in this game is very harshly realistic, and so it's not a thing that one digs into too often, or at least not without absolutely definitely meaning to, or at least hopefully not. So we have we're going to open here with our ship, the Beast of Burden. which is going to be approaching this these couple of islands. Now this these islands, which are just sort of collectively sort of put together to form what they call Mutter's Cove, are kind of they're connected to each other almost. You have on one end you have an opening that is, the two ends aren't really that close to each other, so that's where most ships go in and out. On the other end, you have these straits that they call the Singing Straits that are kind of dangerous to go through. For anyone wanting to try and get in that way, one of the legends there is that folks who aren't dashed against the rocks who come through generally have terrible luck and make absolutely zero money while they're on these islands. It is a difficult thing. People come through changed. But one would think that would be all right. Since you've got the other end, you can come and go. The ship, the Beast of Burden, has upon it a banner that was placed when it was recreated, a flag. It's dark blue with the constellation Taurus, the bull, flying high above. We're going to come down and we're going to see each of our crew members doing something. What? I have no idea. We'll have to ask them. We're going to go around. I'm going to ask you each to describe, just as you are approaching these islands, what it is that we see, what your character looks like, and what it is we see them doing. And I am going to, once again, same order. I am going to start with Orla.
So Orla is sort of uncommonly attractive in a way that's almost a little bit disconcerting. And she is currently in her surgery. She's cleaning. She's folding things, scrubbing blood off of other things, cleaning the things that she's used to scrub the blood, sharpening knives, cleaning the blood off those knives. There's a theme.
I can imagine. Very good. So, I'm going to pan out to another part of the ship, and to Elias. What do we see?
Elias is very, I'd almost say, athletically built, a very strong individual with, long brownish hair and full beard. And he's probably, checking in with the helmsman and making sure that the ship is making it through the opening of the cove safely. Staying on the proper heading.
Yeah.
Other boat words.
So far, so good. We're gonna get closer in a moment. You'll see. You'll be able to actually. He'll be able to see a lot better to steer in. And then we're going to pan around, and we'll see Evie. What do we see?
So Evie is described as enchanting. She doesn't really talk too much to people. When she does, she tries to keep it really short, simple kind of thing. So that's what makes her so alluring to some people. She has really long hair and she usually just wears it down anyways. So what she's doing right now is she's just checking her merchandise, making sure everything's still dry and in good condition, and trying to keep track of it all on record so that way she knows what to do when she goes off the boat.
Cool. And then we move again, and we see Barney.
Yeah, Barney is old. Probably the oldest man on this ship. Got a scraggly gray beard and piercing eyes that have seen too much but are blue like the sea. Usually he's wearing a red beanie and an old mariner's pea coat, but right now you can see some of his somewhat balding head and just as messy, matted gray hair, as he is currently below deck in a hammock, just
Excellent. Excellent. It's one of those great skills one learns in situations like this, and which Barney has had a great deal of time to perfect, and that's just being able to sleep wherever, whenever, I would think.
absolutely.
We shall then pan further, and we shall see Lily.
Yeah, Lily is in the galley. She got a pot of secret stew on, her mystery stew that nobody knows what's in it, but it tastes amazing. And she's going through her stores to see what she needs to pick up maybe from the inn on the island to restock before they move on. Well,
Right.
if you look at her, she's very middle-aged, very round and homely. Her hair is just randomly piled on her head. She's kind of sweaty, and you don't really think of her as much unless you look in her eyes and you see that they're really, really piercing and focused, and they see everything that's going on. But else, it's kind of like just one of these middle-aged women that just like keeps fussing and doing things in the background.
All right. So we're going to see the ship coming in, and so based on everyone's positioning, Captain McLean is going to. How are we saying the last name, by the way? McLean? McLean?
McLean.
McLean.
It's to my understanding, at least.
All right. That's what we'll go with. So Captain McLean will see this along with your helmsman. As you're steering in, you notice that there is, and you heard hammers, kind of, as you were coming around. And you look over and you see there's this kind of a, it's not by any means quite done yet, but there's this sort of structure, sort of ropey wooden type structure thing that's being built that looks like it's being put in place between the two islands in the opening. You'll be able to get in fine, it looks like. So your helmsman is just sort of looking at it, what the hell? And so it looks like there are workers putting in some kind of a gate, possibly.
That's odd.
Are you gonna start collecting tolls or something?
Maybe.
Shakes his head. You're able to sail in. It's not going to be terribly difficult. Also, let me see here. I think I'm going to let you read a situation if you would like to, as you're looking at this.
Okie dokie.
So if you would like to, you can roll plus brain.
Brain. Nope.
Excellent. Good. Okay.
First roll.
So as you're coming in and you're trying to sort of make sense of this, you'll see that You're not, they don't necessarily try to stop you, but you see that there's someone walking back and forth. There's sort of on top of this sort of bridge-like thing that's on the top of it. It's a woman who is right now. She's dressed in basically like a sailor's shirt and trousers. She's looking around and she's writing things down. And she looks over and you can see her. You're kind of almost like eye to eye right now. And she just sort of looks up at the ship. She looks at the side of it and she nods and she makes a note.
Don't like that.
She looks like she's about maybe in her 30s. She has sort of dirty blonde hair that's pulled back. So you're pulling in. You're in the cove now. And I do have a question for you. You see, you have two islands that you can approach here. There's the bigger island, which is Morgan Isle, where they do mostly a lot of fishing and trading. And then there is the smaller island, which is the Isle of Cadern, where they do a lot of mining, mostly mining, but they do. You can have business on both islands. Which one do you want to go to?
I feel like the essentials of the trip is just resupplying, and it just appears that Morgan Isle is more suited for it. So probably just have us pull into any dock that's on there.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you all have business here that you can do one way or the other. Business or a business. So yeah. As you pull toward it, it's going to it'll take you a little time. It'll take you now maybe like, usually it's about like maybe half an hour to get from here into port, because it's still, there's time on continue with these trips that you've made here before. I kind of imagine that Morgan Isle has a number of, it's kind of built up, since it is a center of trade. They have sort of this very sort of built up docks. It's kind of like when you see these everything made of wood and on the docks, and stores and stuff on the docks and things like that one might see in in depictions of pirate villages or what have you. But also, other places did this. Things with nautical themes. The interesting thing is, as you're approaching it is taking you a little longer, because you don't see nearly as many fishing boats out as you would think. It is a little odd. This time of day, you should see more boats. But for some reason, not so much. Not so much. Now, as you are approaching, yes, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this because I can. Now, I do have a certain number of details down, but I'd like now to go around and have each of you give me a detail. One thing your character knows about something on this island. It can be a place. You already know people here. But it can be a place or a thing or just something that you've heard. And I'm gonna go backwards order this time, just to give a bit of relief, if at all possible. And I'll actually start with Vivacia.
Right. Would you like something unrelated to the people, or something brand new, or just can it relate to the people that we picked as our connections?
It can be any of the above. It does need to be a new thing, but it can relate to any of the. It can relate to anything you've been given already, or it can be a new thing entirely.
Yeah, because she knows the guy who runs the inn, so she would definitely know the Moonhaven Inn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that there's certain rumors she has heard about someone who's working at the inn. That they might not be who they are, who they claim to be. And Lily is very interested in finding out if those are true.
Excellent. And we'll come back around to Speedy.
Yeah. I have an idea. I'm just trying to think of a good name.
You want me to come back to you?
Yes.
Sure. No
Give me
problem.
a second. I can come up with a good name here.
So we'll move over to Michi. Just one detail.
The marketplace. It's kind of like I want to say, like a farmer's market. You know, like that's what it would look like. And it's usually like bustling and like full with people and everything, but like you do see the occasional like child running around, you know, like kind of creating a little situation sometimes, but just being kids. But there's like a fountain in the middle of the marketplace, and so it's like surrounded there.
Okay, excellent. Cool. And Levi.
Okay. My brain came up with two options, so I'm picking the scarier one. There's a forest like 3 to 5 like square miles, or would be more like realistically like it's not a particularly big forest. It's just like the most of it, as much of a forest as you could get in this in this area, and that every once in a while, not terribly often, but just often enough to be significant, people go in there and don't come back.
Okay. Excellent. And Brittany.
This might actually be related to Elias's fact, but a lot of people don't know, even the people that live there, that the base of this island, where it sort of rises up out of the sea, is very heavy in limestone, and there are complete mazes and just absolute beehive of just tunnels that go through the bottom of the island, and there are spots that do touch the surface that people sort of dismiss as, you know, springs, things like that, but the current can be very dangerous depending on the tides.
I think mine would probably be pretty close to that one, and it is the wreck of the palm festoon.
The wreck of the palm festoon?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a shipwreck that came ashore here some years ago that ran into those limestone deposits. And much of the ship and many of its crewmates were never found.
Nice. The palm festoon. Okay, excellent. I have to wonder a few things. But of course, if anyone who has missing people would like to connect this to that, then feel free. Aside from that, yeah, you don't have to. But is this the Is this also the wreck that happened when they took the lighthouse away, or is this or is
Yes.
this a different wreck? Okay.
No, this is the same wreck.
Okay. Excellent. Good. Yeah. Yeah, there used to be a lighthouse operating here some time ago. Years back. No longer. Apparently there were budgetary issues.
I mean, they could have turned it back on since then.
They could have. They easily could have. No one appears to be manning it at the moment, as far as anyone can tell.
Well, it's the daytime.
Surely that's it. That's fair. All right, excellent. So you folks come into dock. It takes a little longer to do so because most of the fishing boats that should be out are in. Everything is getting, so you're now in the process of everyone. It's like that they've all called out that you're in port, etc., etc. The various things that you're supposed to yell that Jim doesn't remember right now, and you're pulling in. Ropes are getting thrown and tied. Crew members are running back and forth as you're docking. So you're at a point that you're getting ready to be able to go ashore. What's everybody doing?
Orla is coming up from the converted brig that is now a surgery. And as usual, whenever she leaves the ship, she has a bag with her that it's one of those bags that looks really, really heavy, but she carries it like it's not. It's just big and bulky and weirdly shaped. No one really knows what she keeps in there.
Skin.
Jim told me not to go into the body horror too quickly. Yes, it's skin. I was honoring the wishes of our GM. It's skin. It's a bag.
You're carrying a spare around?
It's skin. It's seal skin, normal,
Seal skin.
as you do.
Okay.
And she's sort of noticing that the fishing boats are, it's not active, and she sort of comes up and leans up on the railing next to Elias, and she just says, "Dead out here, innit?" Also, I'm very sick, so I apologize for everything that comes out of my mouth. It won't sound Scottish. I don't know if it would sound Scottish if I wasn't sick, but that's my excuse this week.
I'm sorry, what was that? What'd you ask him? Sorry.
She said, dead out here, innit?
Yeah, strange. It's, likely some sort of, off-season. It's the only logical guess.
Don't know many fishermen who'd call an off-season.
And not my field of expertise.
Not my problem.
Mm. Elias is probably just like making sure that various crew hands are making sure that the gangplank is set up properly and that everyone can come on and off deck safely.
Yeah, they're getting everything into place, and it looks like it's set up. Gangplank's down, and it's now set up so folks can go back and forth.
Right.
So the sailors are just sort of looking. It's one of those things. Do you make them? Let me ask you. Do you make them wait before you give the order before they can rush onto the shore, or is this something where they can just do it?
I think once Light just kind of like takes a quick last look, okay? All right, you're good.
And this cloud of humanity begins surging off of the boat to head toward the. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Where's that?
You're getting jostled. People are up. They're running to shore. You can tell the boat is. You can tell the boat is stopped.
back on fucking land again. Crawl out of my hammock and grab my hat, put it on, and jacket. Slowly just hobble my way off the ship. I'll wait for everyone else to get off the ship first.
Okay.
Down here as long as I can.
Yeah, you'll probably see Lily, like bustling up from the galley, like this, straightening her apron that's kind of embroidered and kind of homely, and it has big pockets on it, where she keeps a load of things on it. You don't even know what, and you don't want to know what it is. She got it back with her, and she's just like mumbling to herself, right? And I gotta check up on Rosemary, and we definitely need more sugar, and maybe some pepper if we can find some. And she just, completely ignores everybody and just keeps on bustling, and gets off the ship towards the inn.
Don't forget the whiskey.
Right. Buy your own whiskey.
We need it for amputations.
You can buy your own whiskey too.
Yes,
If it
ma'am.
doesn't go in the secret stew, I'm not buying it.
Understood.
I mean, that's my personal favorite ingredient in a stew.
And to be honest, that would be dark lager or ale.
Mm.
I have a feeling if you want whiskey in the stew, that's the ingredient that you add later,
Yeah.
after you've been served the bowl of it.
She might be offended though if she catches you adding anything to that stew that's already perfect.
Your stew is eighth wonder of the world, Mara. Don't change a thing about it. But do get whiskey.
Like I said, go buy your own whiskey.
All right.
What is Evie doing?
She's coming up from the little storage area, and she's making sure, double checking in her bag, because she has little samples of all the herbs and spices and everything that she has with her, so that way she can provide samples. And she tucks away her little notebook also into her bag and just kind of looks at everyone, and then just kind of starts to try and veer as quickly as possible to get off the boat. So she's avoiding conversation right now.
That's good. All right, just sort of each doing your own things a little bit there. All right. Just now making records when we start creating NPCs, which will be happening possibly at a geometric rate. We'll see as we get into this. So as you folks are, is everyone going ashore or is anyone staying?
I feel like there would have to be. I mean, I'm not too well versed in boat stuff, but it's probably someone some equivalent of a city government official there. So check in to make sure everything's above board with docking here.
Okay, so you're checking in with the local port authority.
Right.
Where are we, anyways?
Over by Morgan's Isle. It's as you saw Lily muttering, we need to stock up on a few things, so all the way.
What'd you say, Morgan Isle? Remember that place?
Oh yeah.
Brash whole thing.
It's not. I have no love for the place, but decent enough.
Needs a swabbing or two, but I think I've got an old friend somewhere around here.
Cool, cool.
Oh, alright.
Okay. So Elias is heading to the Port Authority. Where is? And let's see. I think Lily is heading to the inn. Is that right? Okay. Where is? Where are the rest of you heading? Just so that I'll have some idea.
I would also be heading to the inn, I think.
Okay.
I know I have a friend who shipwrecked here some years ago, but I don't know what he's up to since then.
Cool. Cool.
As far as I know, anywhere with liquor is the place he'd be.
That's fair. Yeah, where's Orla headed?
Orla's probably gonna head straight to the marketplace. She wants to get that out of the way, get all her herbs and bandages and whatever she needs for whatever it is she's doing. All the rum for the amputations
Excellent.
and
Good.
in extension the secret seal.
And where's Evie heading?
She's also going to the marketplace to see if anyone would like to buy some of her wares.
All right. So we have 3 grups. We have 3 grups here. I think I will briefly start taking care of. I'm going to take care of the captain first, real quick, just because I think this isn't going to take too long. Famous last words. So, you head up to the. You head up to the. To this, basically this little shed, essentially that's that they have on the sort of a little bit further back from the docks, and the you see this person just sort of is coming around just wearing just ordinary sort of shirt and trousers. It's not really dressed up per se. They're not terribly formal on this island. And he's just sort of looking up and down as just sort of as are sort of coming in. And I think that we've all been to this island before, so this is the same person that you've done business with here before as the person who checks you in. So yeah, this is Caradoc is his name, which
Because he takes care of the docks?
yeah. Also, strangely enough, it does come up on the on this name generator. So, and so he's gonna as you are as you come in, Caradoc Tremaine is his name. And as you head up, he's kind of looking, sort of looks at you. It's Captain McLean, yeah?
Afternoon, Mr. Dane. Just let you know that small ship that just came in, and if anyone claims to be from the Beast of Burden, just send them over to me. And them get into trouble.
All right. Yeah. As as I recall, you had a when you were last here, most of them seemed all right, if I remember right.
Yeah. I try to avoid hiring ne'er-do-wells if I can help it.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. We don't like those types around here. No ne'er-do-wells. That's helpful. You're bringing supplies, are you?
I just trying to more of a restocking
Yeah.
visits. Got, yeah. But yeah, so we're definitely open to trade. Got a Mr. Larkspur is we've got with tens as making an arrangement. She probably went down to the marketplace if have anyone in the market for herbs, spices, the like.
All right. Well, that'll probably be good. And you see there's something, there's sort of a look of concern passes over his face, but he just writes. All right. Well, you're checked in, and just let us know when you're heading out.
All right, take care. They just turns to head out. Probably heads to the inn.
Okay. Yeah. This is this is very lax harbor master, generally speaking, and you're you're heading in. I think I'm going to head over to the marketplace next, as we see Evie and Orla. Are you kind of walking together, or are you just sort of doing the separately I don't know this person thing as you're heading over?
Orla will definitely be trying to walk with her, but if Evie is trying to do the I don't know her thing, it will redouble Orla's efforts.
Evie will walk with her, but probably be looking at her notebook half the time. Just really quiet.
Yeah. You basically are heading up. You have to go a street down to get to the proper market square, and it is as described. You see these long sort of series of stalls there that different folks can inhabit to sell things, and you can do these. You can basically. It seems like the fish section is decidedly down at the moment. You don't see rather a lot of that. Not nearly as many folks out selling today as you would expect. There are some folks selling a few things, a little bit of lumber, herbs, things of that nature. And this is again a trade center, so it's a lot of the folks who sell goods from other places are still here selling things on their various tables, on their various stalls. It's as it sits around the fountain. You do not see a lot of kids today. It's already like I'm going to say afternoon, so school should be out. You do normally see kids running around and playing. There are a few, but nothing like it was when you were last here. And so, if you're wanting to sell things, there are a couple of ways that they handle that, depending on sort of what you're selling. Generally, it's one of those things where you have to sometimes, put in for booth space, but it's looking like that's not going to be a problem today. If you're buying, of course, you just go up and buy stuff. What do you want to do?
Well, Orla's definitely going to be buying some stuff, but she's very curious about the state of, as she said earlier, it's really dead here. So she is perhaps disproportionately distressed by the lack of fish for sale.
Yeah.
So that's perhaps shopping can wait. She wants to maybe ask some people some questions.
Okay. So you're going to start going around and trying to see if you can find someone to give you more info.
Where to fish it?
Fishing for fish info. let's see. So I can either go to reading a situation, or I could go to... Yeah, I don't think manipulate another is really going to necessarily be what we want just yet. Yeah, we'll do the first part where you're looking for people. So you can read a situation if you like, so you'll be rolling plus brain.
I have +2 in that.
Big brain.
Oh, so 13.
Excellent. Okay, yes. So, as you have...
I see everything.
Yes. You understand now.
It's too much.
The limestone is speaking to you from beneath the surface. No. Yeah. It's not like you're talking to the ocean. It should be fine. Let's see. As we all learn together how this works. So you get 3 questions from the list under read a situation.
Okay. Forgive me, I did not have that open.
No problem. And if you like, I'll go ahead and I'll just copy and paste them into the. I'll also copy and paste them into the thing.
Yes.
And by the thing, I mean the Roll20. So that you can see it, and perhaps everyone can see it.
Oh, so best thing. That's what we're talking about. All
Oh,
right.
hey! Thank you very much for subscribing. That is much appreciated. Awesome. So those are the questions.
So I can do 3. I'm going to do what here is not as it seems.
Okay.
Who or what is in control here, and what should I be on the lookout for?
All right. Let's see. So, as you're kind of looking around, and you're just sort of trying to see what's not, just trying to see beneath the surface here, kind of what's going on. And you do realize that it kind of looks as though everyone has this slight... There is this underlying panic for some people. That some people are... Actually, and there is this thing... You know, a lot of the traders that are here are very much... It's like they're doing their job, only more so. And they're putting forth a front that everything is fine. Everything is not fine. It's more like... And you see even some of them a little bit laughing and talking, but it's nowhere near the amount that you usually see here. Everyone here is afraid of something. And they're trying to pretend that they're not. And now you will have to repeat for me what the next question was, because it is left my brain.
Alright, it was what here is not as it seems, who or what is in control here, and
Gotcha.
what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay. So I think that I'm going to actually also fold this into your going around and asking people about things. So you kind of... So do you want to stop someone and ask them kind of what's going on? Is that kind of what we're looking at? How do you want to play this?
I figured that she and Evie are both sort of heading towards that herbalist first. So she'll kind of weave it semi-casually into conversation, not just straight up like,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
what's up. But
All right, I'm gonna feed those in as we go. So who's in control? What should be on the lookout for? Okay. So Evie, you're heading up to this. Is this a particular herbalist you've worked with before?
Yes. So I'll trade spices for herbs with them.
Okay, great. So you have spices, they give you herbs.
Mm-hmm.
This is presumably how this deal goes. Excellent. If you have a name, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'm going to use my generator here.
I do not have a name.
So is this
Herb
is this?
Spicer.
Herb Spicer.
Yes!
Herb Spicer is no. Is this a? What's this person's gender?
We'll go with female.
Okay. All right. These are strange names that are coming up, but that's okay. It's Jennifer Martin
Oh.
is her name. A lot of the folks who settled here were sort of descended from folks from Cornwall. So that was the thing. That were a thing. What happened? So you get up to her. She's an herbalist here basically, and so you see that you come up to her stall, and she has a bunch of hanging herbs that she's sort of selling to folk. People are sort of coming up, and they're not. There's not quite the line that is usually here for this stall, so it does not take you long to get up there. She's a slightly older woman, a little bit heavy set. She has kind of sort of graying auburn hair, and she looks over. It's Evie, isn't it?
Yes. You didn't have to shoo everyone away just for me.
You're special, though. What can I do for you here? You got stuff first?
Yeah, I brought you some of your favorite spices, and I was hoping to see Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, Mr. Gardner's been very busy of late, but he's certainly around. He'll probably be. I'm thinking he'll be free probably in about like an hour or so. It's probably when he's going to be done making his rounds.
Okay, well that sounds like plenty of time. I'll be making my own rounds too to see what I can, what I might be interested in.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's got his pulse on what's going on. He's really got his got things sorted. He's been a lot. He's been a lot busier lately, and he's been very really helps to when someone will just take charge of things, you know. Sometimes, yeah. It's so. Let's see what you got, and we'll I'll see what I can get for you. So yeah, she's sort of bringing out her various spices her various herbs. You have the spices, she has the herbs that she's showing to you, and she really does not have nearly the inventory that she usually does. She has a decent amount of it. But it actually looks like she probably has more behind the counter, but right now she's kind of she's trying to make sort of as she's sort of trading with you. She's kind of trying to it seems more. She's trying to. It's like she's holding something back, basically, as she's trying to do this. And so are you going to try to get? She's going to give you a decent, basically a decent trade, but by most standards, but. She's not. You're not really going to. It's looking like you're not going to get the something extra unless you want to try to try to manipulate the situation in some way.
I think Evie just kind of takes note of what's going on, and notices that her inventory isn't as it used to be. So instead, she gives just a little bit extra towards Jennifer's way. Just to, do something a little bit nicer for her, because she's noticing, just from the fact that she's trying to hold something back, that there's something going on, and Evie's not really one to pry into someone's business, so she's just gonna be like, well, here you go, like, you can have a little extra, because we're good business partners,
Oh, bless you, bless you. Hey. Thanks so much. So you came in through the when you came in. Were they still building that atrocity out there?
Yeah, I noticed it on our way in, but I have no idea what it is.
Well, we've got our suspicions, but we don't. We don't rightly know. It's mostly that's a Cadarn project, but if you see anybody, representatives from them, that other island, or doing anything, just be careful. All right? You don't want to upset the wrong people,
So Evie will take note of that, but then also check in with Orla if she needs any herbs herself.
Oh, Orla's got a list.
Oh.
So she sort of reaches into her bag, but before she opens it all the way, she kind of then starts digging. And then she goes, alright, I need sassafras, thyme, hemlock, eucalyptus, and I need some of the sweet stuff, some mint, loads of mint. Goldie sailors have awful breath. Got nutmeg, ginger, licorice, things like that. Need something for the palate.
And so she's nodding, noting your the list that you're giving her, and she has, as she's going through, she's gonna start producing herbs, and she has most of them. She does not have the eucalyptus. And she is kind of low on sassafras, it looks like, right now. Most of the others she has, she doesn't have a huge amount of, but she does have some. The mint's fine, that kind of thing. She's got
That's the important one.
plenty of those things. And you're able to basically, you paying using monies, or are you trading?
She's gonna pay with money.
Ah, money. I remember that. No, she will happily take your money. You actually will note, yeah. Evie will actually notice this. She seems a little more ready. Normally, she's this is an herbalist. This is an older herbalist. She is normally very much about trading, but she seems more on this instance more willing to take money than she usually is. Evie will notice this, having worked with her a number of times before, or will also perhaps notice this, although it's if you usually pay with money, perhaps not so much. But she doesn't. You do notice she doesn't at any point ask if there's anything that you'd like to trade in, or she doesn't. Sometimes there'll be this thing like she'll notice a flower you're carrying or something, or notice the thing that you're bringing in, and she'll be like, oh, could we could trade for that? But she doesn't do that this time. And so you buy these things. You do note that the price has gone up a little. Not too much. But what's your wealth level? Do you recall?
My wealth is average.
Average? Okay. So yeah, you can afford, these are herbs. You can afford pretty much all the herbs that she's selling you.
She's gonna comment as this transaction's going on. She's gonna not complaining in a way that's complaining, but she is gonna sort of comment. The price got something to do with the gate those Cadarans got going up.
She
lock and stock a bit.
She says, well, we know all our islands are connected.
Don't sound too happy about it these days.
She says, it's not really my place to get into that as politics,
Bit of a lover's squabble.
I suppose you could look at it that way. Yeah, a little bit.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Most welcome. And is there anything else you want to do here, or you want to just sort of?
No, not particularly. So the who's in control that's leading towards Cadarans?
The Cadarans, and also just locally, as far as trade goes, very much that seems very much in the wheel in the house now of Roland Gardner, the trade boss, and so that's a biggie. As far as that goes, it's like he was always a trade boss here, but he didn't seem to be quite as they weren't looking to him necessarily before they could make decisions, and they seem to be doing that now. But yeah, it's basically probably the Cadarans, and down here in the trade, Gardner.
Cool. So she's gonna sort of turn to Evie as they're leaving and just be like, fucking mood.
Evie will just look at Orla and nod and say, I usually see Mr. Gardner around, but it's weird that he's not here.
No, I don't care if he's here or if he's... I don't know, but is he the one you think's kissed in everyone's fish?
Well, when we find him, we can find out.
I'll ask him in those exact words.
I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Nice. And where are you going to be heading?
Evie's gonna kind of just walk around town until she can find Mr. Gardner.
Okay.
Orla doesn't have anything particular to do at this point. She's kind of done her one adult chore for the day, so she'll probably either follow Evie just to bother her or go hang out in the woods.
Excellent. Oh yeah, that's a great place to go. Cool. So I guess my only question is, Evie, do you exile Orla to the woods while you're doing this?
You going someplace fun? Where are you going?
Just gonna walk around town, see what they got.
Oh, good. Walk could do me good. Could use a good walk. Been on a ship so long. It's not good for the bones, not good for the joints. It's not good for the tendons and muscles.
Yeah, it'll be nice to walk without feeling so wobbly.
Mm.
All right. So you go forth walking non-wobbly. And we're going to head over to the inn. Also, briefly, because short-term memory is the first thing to go. Elias, where did you say you were headed?
Probably also to stop in by the inn.
Okay, gotcha. So we're going to go to the inn, and Barney and Lily, as we're following now. So the two of you head there. The Moonhaven Inn, where the proprietor there is Lachlan McKay. You do hear there is a certain amount of singing going on as you enter.
Any song I recognize?
Oh yes, I think you know pretty much like all of them.
I mean,
they're always
if
the old
it's a
ones here.
sea shanty, then sure.
It is in fact.
But we're
sea
on
shanty.
land.
Well, it's funny, right? Because what you're actually hearing a lot of is it is stuff that you'd hear more out at sea. Sort of as you're coming in, you see this place is packed with fishermen, and also of course some sailors. You expect to see the sailors, some of them from your very own ship, but not so much this many fishermen usually here at this time of day. Drinking. There is much drinking going on, and so you hear kind of this is sort of singing, and you see Lachlan behind the bar. He's just kind of getting into it, sort of helping to lead one of the shanties. He is Lachlan is an older gentleman, is a bit stout. He's got like a very light gray beard and hair. Is very much kind of a Santa Claus-ish figure around here in some ways, as he just kind of tries to keep everyone's spirits up, as he often does. And sort of at the end, they come to the end of their song, and he takes a drink, as that is, and everyone raises their flasks, and they also drink, and there's some cheering. It's a cheering of the kind that one hears when if you're at like an event that not everyone is completely into, but they're trying to get into it. Yay! Then he sort of sees you coming up, and he immediately sort of bolts out from behind the bar. He's he's kind of spry for his age. So his appearance belies how fast he is. He will come out, and he'll say, "Barney, good to see you." And he will come forward, his preparing to embrace you if you accept it.
Arr, Lachlan, you old landlubber, it's good to see ya.
Lily, come in here. He's going to bring his hand up and attempt to include you in the embrace.
Yeah, my fellow lover of the secret stew.
Yeah. Yes. And Well,
Looks like business is booming for you here,
It's
Lachlan. You
going
got
good.
every fisherman around.
Ah, well, everybody needs to relax every now and then, at least. What can I get for you?
Ale, rum, whiskey, all in one glass if you got it.
I got a glass specially sized for that. And he hops back around the bar. And anything for you, Lily? He says as he's pouring, rapidly.
Well, my man, what have you set away from me this time? So, because Lily and Lachlan, since they're both lovers of the secret stew, and they're also lover of secrets as it is, and he hears a lot. He tends to set aside, if he gets some herbs or some spices in that you don't always get. He tends to set aside some stuff for her, and then they always exchange whispers from the wind, one would say, just things that they have heard, but they wouldn't exactly do that in front of Barney.
Yeah. So what he'll do is he'll kind of very rapidly he will set out. He says, I know what you're here for, and he'll set out a drink, and he will pour you a drink, and he will very slyly, as right after Barney, he pours Barney's drink first, and he slides it out to him.
Bears.
Cheers, yeah. And as Barney is drinking, he will slide Lily your drink toward you, along with a little bag on the opposite side of the drink.
So, and Lily just kind of pulls that to herself and kind of puts that in the pocket of her apron, and just smiles and cheerio, my man, cheerio. We have some catching up to do.
Oh, we definitely do. It's always good to see folks after a while. We worry about you. So, you folks are sitting there drinking. Is there anything in particular you want to do? There are a lot of people in here. If you want to try to interact with them, there's Lachlan is here. A lot of the folks who are fisher folk are here. You do see Garen and Rosewin Hugh are here, who are like the head fisher folk. They're both here right now, which in and of itself is slightly disturbing. Those are the those are going to be the main folks that you see about. What you doing?
So, can't say I'm sad for the business for you, but why aren't these fishermen out, catching fish?
That's an unfortunate thing. Their spirits are down for lack of fish.
I can see their spirits are down, but no fish.
Things are not as they should be out there. Someone's throwing off the balance. He says he's continuing to make drinks.
The winds were odd coming in here. Could feel it. Anything been changing in town lately?
In town? Perhaps there's been reactions to things. People have been disappearing a little bit again, unfortunately. The Straits have started whispering again.
What are they whispering about? Is it that bastard Xavier again?
Strangely, this is one of those things that I don't know as it's necessarily his fault. I mean, it is, in the sense that he should be perhaps trying to respond to this situation here, but a bit more than he has been. But things are kind of deadlocked, I suppose, and there's it's having an effect on the way of things. And you know, it's things are not going well. I started losing the catches. Not so good. I'd got to go further and further out to be able to get anything.
The right shame.
Bunch of folks.
They've been able to feed their own.
Not very well. We got trading some going on. We're now trading more than anything, just with the with Cairn, and that's mostly how they're doing it now. It's very touch and go. It's something needs to be done to restore the balance soon, or well, you know, forces step in.
What kind of force is he expecting?
Well, and he just sort of leans forward and kind of half whispers, Barney, I expect you know about much better than I do, even.
You're right, indeed.
I think at
They
this
won't
point,
put up with this for much longer. Either someone's made her mad already, or well, they're about to.
yeah. And she had such an even temper before. At this point is, I think, when Captain McLean will come in. You will see Barney and Lily kind of over by the bar. And you will see, as described, this place is packed, much more packed than it should be at this time of day.
Yeah. But just like waves over to Barney and Lily, orders whatever will be like a reasonable order in added in this kind of town, and then just kind of like sits down. So saw that dwarves were rather empty up there. Anything to do with that bleeding eyesore over by the entrance?
Who are you addressing?
Oh, I was talking to McKay.
Okay.
Asking if that stuff has anything to do with the construction project.
Ah, Captain. Well, it has disheartened some folks. That's true, at least. Hard to say.
Yeah. Trade ain't great. Trade's not ideal as it is. Hate to see what it would do with having a damn gate.
Well, I don't know exactly how they're going to be handling all that. I'm very much not in the loop on that one. I've not really heard much about that, but
I wouldn't expect it to.
Yeah, but it's sad when people forget. You know, they forget to respect the sea.
I wonder if it's anything my old pal Vaughn would be up to.
So, when you say that, the voices in the pub here go dead. And the fishermen just sort of look at you with a death stare. And I think that's actually where we're going to go to break. We will be back in just a few moments. See you soon. We have returned. And at the mention of the name Vaughn, everything in the pub went dead, basically.
Oi, Captain. You passed gas again.
Elias kind of like shakes his head. What is there a problem I don't know about?
Lachlan very quickly will kind of head over to the side of the bar, and he goes, "Oh, let's have another one." And he starts to lead another song that the sailors kind of get into because they don't have as much investment in whatever this is.
I immediately get into it.
Yeah, like
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor?
That's always a popular one.
Yeah.
So that kind of starts to break the atmosphere up a little bit, and people just sort of quietly, the fishermen just start grumbling to each other.
Seems I may have business over in Cadarn.
Yeah. Right now, Elias and Lily are probably, I'm guessing, the only ones not singing. Both you and the fishermen. You and the fisher folk are not singing. Let me see.
So can Lily kind of wander off, since she can see that Lachlan is going to be busy for a while and not ready for, like a private exchange of, sure. Gossip, and just wander off. And since Rosamund is probably one of the only females in the inn, I mean, there shouldn't be all that many of them, right?
Out here, yeah. I mean, right now, there are a number of them, this island does have a number of sort of a little more parity of female to male fishermen, so there are some, she's definitely here. Yeah,
and I kind of probably already made her acquaintance before when I visited the inn. We're not really friends, but maybe I'll just head on over and greet her, and kind of have a little toast with her, and see if I can have a conversation with her, and see maybe she'll open up and tell me something about what's going on.
Yeah, she seems a little morose. Her husband kind of immediately at this point, just sort of as things are going, he's gotten up and left. So she just sort of looks up, sees you, and she's a little cagey right now at first. I think. Yeah, well, let's get into this a little bit. She's says, "It's Miss Martin, isn't it?"
Yes, it still is. It has been a while. It's been a while since we saw each other last. Yeah. Things seem to have changed around here.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit. How's that captain treating you?
Oh, treating me pretty well, like he should, since I'm extended family.
Oh, yeah.
He not messing with me too much. He way too busy. You know how the man folk are. So why is everybody in here, shaking the cloth in the wind? Why is everybody in here just the men folk? Why are they all drinking? Don't they have any work to do?
Pretty much kills any money I have.
Oh, we've all got work to do. We hope. You'd think that. I think I'm going to need you to manipulate another here.
All right.
So I'm going to have you roll plus beauty to see if you can
seriously
get more information out of it.
Can I just read her mind?
Oh, you could try to read her thoughts. Let's see. This is kind of, yeah, we could call this a charged interaction. Although the questions that you get, it's any time during the course. So yeah, we can just keep going if you want to get those. Yeah, we can do it that way.
Right. So it's because Beauty Window, not she very homely. So so that's brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
So hang on, I'm just making sure that that's mathematically possible.
Yeah. How can I roll a 0?
I think it's the ++2.
Okay. Let me take a look here.
Do I have an extra plus in here?
I think you might.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have to take the plus out?
Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's the 7, and do I have to add the 2 still to it, or it already added it?
Well, it's 9 basically.
All right.
So,
okay, so it's a 9.
Yeah. So that's so yeah.
That gets me.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me what? Oh, 1, right?
Yep. Anytime during the course of your interaction, you can ask one of these questions. So she's being very cagey right now about the whole thing, which is.
All right. So can I just do what does this character wish I do?
Sure.
Oh yeah, you know what? She probably wants me to walk away. Let's reconsider this.
Okay.
Because you know what? That's exactly what's going to be coming.
You can talk a little bit more and see if one of the other questions becomes more relevant, if you like.
Yeah. So can I just try and make some small talk about the boat and what we've seen at the last town, and then just kind of weave in the mention of whatever gate we saw when we were coming in, and that I've never seen something like that before, and just see if she knows anything about it.
All right. So you're
just talking.
Yeah, just sort of talking about the gate. And she's like, "No, we've not had that here before at all."
Oh shit.
Yeah, I've never seen one like that before. What is it supposed to do? Keep the water out?
I was trying to listen to something. His mom was being loud.
Yeah. And says, "Oh, you see a lot of the world. What do you think it's supposed to do?"
I have absolutely no clue. I'm mostly down in my galley, and I've never seen one of those before. I was like, is it supposed to keep things in, things out? How are you supposed to keep the sea out? It just doesn't make no sense in my brain whatsoever. Who came up with that idea?
Genius running the other island.
Oh, great.
Your cousin's pal.
So, chowder-headed manfolk, basically?
That one in particular is... I think...
What is he trying to gain by this?
I honored Tommy for...
Look around.
So, he wants to kill the fishing trade? What is that going to help with his mining? Or did he get into another trade that I know nothing about?
Why do you care?
Why would I not? I've been here often enough. This is a port that we stop in. This is a port that we trade in. This is people that I've known a long time. Why would I not care?
Goodness knows I wouldn't want to get in the way of your business. And she looks like she is kind of, there's clearly something bothering her quite a lot. She looks like she's sort of making as though she might be getting ready to... She's thinking about standing up and moving to a different table.
So, how can I get this character to open up to me?
Okay. I would say sympathize about the fact that they are not the fact that they're in this predicament. I think sympathy is probably going to help. So showing some degree of understanding about getting screwed over.
Yeah, I can see that this is hard on you guys. You're normally not in here. And also, a rich man can get richer. Well, that's not right. That's not fair to you
Well,
folks.
it's not,
You
is
work
it?
hard. You work hard for your life. And what does he do? Sit and watch other people work?
Exactly. He's just he's the lord of that freaking island over there, and he wants this one too.
This is not his.
Not yet.
Well, if you have anything to say about it, I probably never will.
Yeah, that's it. Ain't so many of us left as there were before.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Some are shipping out.
Where you see that?
Why would they do that? This is their whole life. This is their family. This is their roots.
Some figure that they'd rather take their chances starting over and have to deal with him bowing, scraping.
I just don't understand what he would gain from this. There's no mining opportunities over here. What is he getting into? I do not understand these menfolk. Just grabbing at things that don't belong to them.
Yeah. You understand the mind of a man like that, then you tell me. Because the day you figure that out is the day you figure out how to undo all this.
So is there anything that you guys are trying to do? Something that we can assist you with? I mean, aside from knocking that chowder-headed guy over, I can really do that.
You brought that merchant with you this time.
Yeah, Miss Evie.
Hmm. Well, maybe there's something she can do.
Anything I can suggest to her?
Just like to have a little talk about her wares.
With you? Or with Mr. We don't want to even say his name anymore.
No, just Garen and me.
All right, I'll see what I can do. It's definitely not right what's happening here.
Garen and me, just a few of the other fishermen. We got certain interests we think might be of help in this, under these circumstances, maybe.
So, has he been influencing the catch? I've heard talk while I was walking up to the inn that there has not been a lot of fish. Is he poisoning the sea against us?
Sea is not happy with us. We're doing all we can to keep it from boiling over, but we're running out of time.
Nobody should anger the sea that way.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess I'm going to wave over to Lachlan and, let him know we need another round.
Yeah, and he'll provide one. So so the song has sort of come to an end, and it sort of becomes a self-perpetuating thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that Barney or Elias are doing here in the inn, the pub section of the inn?
Not here specifically, I don't think. None that comes to mind.
You want to head out? You want to?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Barney would ask Lachlan to top him up one more time, and then take the flagon out with him, and he's gonna go sit by the sea and stare into the beyond.
Oh!
Oh, no.
You're gonna go out to the dock.
I gotta go talk to my lady.
All right.
Something's not right here.
So you're gonna be rolling plus beyond.
Mm-hmm. That would be a 13.
Oh, good lord! That's so much beyond.
You got the bed and the bath too.
I know, so many things. All right. So you have a fairly nice view as you're sitting out there. Actually, before I give you this vision, I need to know. Elias, Barney heads out to the dock and just sits on the end of the dock and just stares out at the sea. What are you doing?
Not much. Just kind of probably absentmindedly walk around the marketplace, see if there's anything the folks back home would like.
Okay, you're heading over to the marketplace. All right, I'll come back to you. So
also,
Barney...
I'd like to say I'm not going to the docks. I'm going to the rocky shores near sort of those limestone deposits, where like occasionally when the water comes in strong, there's like sea spray that can sort of splash up in his face. Not so much that he has to like wade through water to get there,
Sure.
but enough that
absolutely.
You know, salt is strong.
You head down and and you start to hear something. And
What's
it's kind
going
of
on?
like this sort of, it's like a humming, and sort of occasionally this will happen where you'll hear sort of, it's almost like a siren's call music as you stare out across the harbor over across the cove, and you look up, and as you look up, and there's this big wave that crashes up, and then when it comes down, you can see the rocks on the Singing Straits, and that's when you hear the whispering, just a bit, as you're looking out. And it kind of, the waves coming up and splashing it becomes much more frequent, and almost you kind of get this point where you're like, it comes up and you're seeing colors a little bit in it, even though it's just, white, should be white, but you're seeing the colors. And I think you're seeing that you kind of see, it's almost like these two islands specifically. And on one island, the one across from here, it's like you can kind of see almost, it's like almost maybe live souls as dots, little dots, that they just sort of are clustering around the edge of that island. You're actually seeing it's more You realize the souls that you're seeing, the lives that you're seeing, this is marine life more than anything else. Little dots clustering around the edge of that island. Over near this island, it's like you kind of get this sense of like time has passed and people have, it's like as you get the sense that this dock is empty, that people are pulling away from the sea, pulling away from the shore. And you see a lot of the little dots, the life essence of the marine life in the cove, swimming out and away through the straits. And that's so that most of the life force, the marine life force, seems just contained somehow right near the other island. And then you get splashed in the face and it stops. It sort of all comes down and the whispering stops. And you very much get the impression that her temper is simmering.
Didn't think I'd hear it here. Suppose it is time then. I stand up and I walk away.
Meanwhile, in the marketplace, Evie and Orla have been wandering around for a little while now, trying to find Roland Gardner. Do you go to his house? Because you can find out where that is without too much trouble. You could do that if you wish. He has his office is out of his house, from your understanding. So you know, it is also his place of business.
I think Evie would try to go to his office first.
So, yeah, the office side of the building, basically. You go and you go down. You have to go cut down a couple of side streets, and all these wooden structures. Basically, the ones closer to the front all kind of almost look like they're built out of driftwood, and as you get further back, you get the more solid houses. Yeah, you actually, it takes you a moment because he's actually moved to a more solid house. He moved from one of the driftwood-looking houses, and now he's in more like a proper house. And sort of as you're heading over, you're hearing just sort of kind of that you're sort of heading toward the office side, basically, of the thing, where he's got kind of there's a door, wooden door, and it's got a wooden sign on it that says Roland Gardner, trade representative. And it sounds like you hear movement inside.
Is the door unlocked?
So you reach for it, you try the door, and it does seem to be locked.
Okay. I'll just knock on the door and wait to see if I get a response.
So there seems to be some shifting. And after a moment, you hear some kind of a little bit of sort of moving of a lock, and the door opens, and there is someone standing there. This is not Roland Gardner. It's a younger fellow, blonde hair. Looks out, and he says, "Can we help you, miss?"
Yeah, I'm looking for Mr. Gardner.
We're actually in a meeting right now. Will probably be done shortly. Is it an emergency, anything like that?
Oh, well, we're practically like family. I'm Evie. Whenever I come into town, I always come in to see him.
Oh, all right. I'll let him know. If you can wait here for just a moment, please.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
He closes the door. So you're going to be out there. You and Orla are going to be out there for a moment. Then you're going to sort of hear there's a lot more motion inside, and then the door opens, and you see there are about half a dozen people in here, sort of sitting. There's a desk. This is an office. There's a desk. They've kind of been standing around, and they're all kind of these are all folks who look like they're traders, and they sort of one by one they're starting to head toward through the door, and they're like, excuse me, miss, excuse me. They're sort of turning. You recognize some of them, and they're all sort of filing out. They're sort of tipping their hats. The men are kind of tipping their hats. It's mostly men. It's like and a couple of women. A couple of the men and one of the women just sort of will stop, to spare a glance at Orla and kind of smile.
She does not smile back.
Okay. They think to themselves as they're heading off, note to self, get skin.
She holds her bag a little tighter.
The blonde fellow sort of nods also and sort of gestures in toward the inside as he's heading out. And he's sort of, all right, thanks, Roland. And all right, thank you too. Thank you too. Come on in. And do you go in?
Yeah. Evie goes in. She looks at Orla, like if Orla wants to go in with her or not, kind of thing. But she'll go in and smile when she sees Gardner.
He is actually slightly better dressed than when you saw him last. He's got like a new new to you. He's got a vest that's with nice shiny buttons on it, and an overcoat which he is not wearing because it is warm. But yes, nearby he's actually wearing something that's akin to a cravat, and he stands up. Miss Evie, it's a pleasure to see you. And he comes around and we'll go and kind of move. Are you hugging people or the two of you or no? Are you and he at that point or are you more handshaky?
She'll give him a hug since he's a friend of her mother. So she'll give him a hug and then just kind of look him up and down and say like have you been holding out on me, Mr. Gardner?
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been back. Ain't it?
Yes, business seems to be going very well for you, but when I went to the marketplace, it's very difficult for me to also have business go well.
Oh, you find things you gotta. Certain things you gotta find. You gotta be able to. If certain things to trade go away, you gotta get other things in. It's mostly just this season. It's things are shifting, and so we've got out there is going to be changing our inventory. It's a bit of a shift.
That's quite the shift for a port town to not have any fish is a little bit, huge. I was expecting to be able to bring aboard some more herbs from Madame Jennifer, but unfortunately her inventory was also very sparse.
Ah, Madam Jennifer. Yeah, she's we've been. Yeah, I talked to her a little bit, and she's we need to see what we can do about the herbs herbs on this island. It's things we got to figure out. I mean, I've been telling her that we've got shipments coming in that she can pick up from, and she can sell some of those. But she's not. She's kind of refused to do so. I mean, there's only so much you can do. But things are kind of the way things are growing on this island are changing a little bit. So.
Oh, well, what kind of changes so that way I can be aware of the next time I come into port, so that way I can actually make a profit this time, as you know how things go, Mr. Gardner.
Oh, fair point. He comes around and he's pouring himself some stuff out of a bottle. It's probably something like cognac, and he looks up. You care for any?
Oh, no. Orla, would you like some?
Orla seems to have forgotten that there are people in this house that they have walked into. She seems to have forgotten that this is a house owned by this man, and she is just at the wall, like looking at stuff. She's kind of like touching if there's any like art on the wall or anything. Just sort of very fascinated with the fanciness of it, and she just sort of like looks over her shoulders. What?
Would you care for a drink, miss?
Drink what?
Cognac.
Gesundheit?
Yeah. It's probably best for folks to stay away from it if they can. Afraid I've developed a bit of a taste for it.
Is that the point?
One would definitely think. If you'd like to try it, I'd be happy to pour one for you.
Yeah, I'll give it a sniff.
Yeah, he will pour out a thing of cognac into a nice little glass, which he will hand to you.
She sniffs it and hands it back.
Not to your taste then. That's quite all right. More for me, and he sets it down on the desk. And he says, but I mean, I can see is since you're here, Miss Evie, we can probably arrange something if you need if there's things you're needing to unload.
I have my spices and herbs and everything. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to make a profit this time around, seeing the marketplace and the state that it's in. I'm so used to coming over here and bringing my business this way. Did I make a mistake this time around?
A lot of things happen very fast, but we're adapting. We're kind of running a lot of stuff on contracts now.
What kind of contracts and with who?
Contracts with folks from outside, like yourself, vendors. Want to come in and bring different goods in, goods that we're lacking at this point.
That didn't seem to be a problem the last time I was here, especially with the fish market and everything.
Well, that is the thing, is that when folks are coming here were coming here for fish before, they're not so much at this point, and so we had to, like I said, we got a shift.
Okay. I do have another question, Mr. Gardner.
Hmm.
What was that thing that I saw being built?
So he's going to, he's just, when you say that, he's going to be like, that's, he says, anyway, hang on, Jim has to look the name up, because he has it right in front of him. There we go. That's, yeah, Governor Hill's putting it in, the fellow on the, from, over on, Kadair, and I've told, tried to send the messages out, let them know it's an eyesore, it's not really going to be, don't know if it's necessarily going to be that good for business, but, he's, not budged on it.
There's nothing that you can do about it? It seems to be hurting everyone more than anything.
He just sort of turns. He says, he just sort of turns and he stares. He's staring at the at something in the room, sort of looking over for a second, and then he comes back. He's staring at a desk with a few pictures on it. He comes around. No, there's not a lot to be done right now.
But it seems.
Make whatever work you can.
Well, it looks like you're making it work very well for yourself.
Doing my best.
And then Evie just kind of glances around and takes note of where he was staring at.
Yeah, I think, as part of this, I may, would you like to read a situation?
Sure.
Or would you like to read another's thoughts? You could do either one of those in where we are right now.
Situation.
We'll do that.
I will give that a shot. What am I doing?
Excellent. That's a good question. When you're reading a situation, you're going to be rolling plus brain, and you're going to get possibly some questions that you can ask.
Okay.
Orla's still staring at the desk.
Orla's touching everything.
There are, some pictures in frames on it of a number of people.
She's picking them up, looking at them, put them back down.
Some of them, a good portion of them, also have Gardner in them.
I am so sorry. I'm trying to roll this. It's my first time rolling.
Oh, no problem. Is the macro not going?
Hold on.
So you press the little
Itty bitty dice
little
right
button,
underneath the
yeah.
number.
Yeah. There's a little button there that's right under there. Underneath brains. There you go. That was... Wait a minute. One moment, please.
11.
Ivy Larkspur. Oh, Evie Larkspur. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was concerned for a moment, but that's it. Yeah, you got an 11. And yes, you have... so you can ask 3 of those questions that are on there. And if you want, I'll repost them under read a situation.
Sorry.
No problem. Want me to throw them back in chat?
I think... Oh, I just scrolled up. Okay. Who or what is in control here?
So The sense that you're getting... Well, there are kind of two things. The sense that you're getting is that he doesn't seem terribly inclined to go against the what it is that they're doing on that other island. So there is, it seems like they've got, either they've, you know, they, for some reason, whatever they're doing you think is in some way benefiting him. And so they're kind of seemingly in control of the situation. There does also seem to be something else going on because as you're... Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, that'll be for that question. Yeah, there does seem to be something else going on because of the as you're looking, sort of his demeanor. There are things he's not saying apparently, and that he's not. There seems to be some pressure other than just I want to make more money. Although he seems to be hiding it pretty well.
Okay, so Evie will just take note of that and, you know, probably come back to that later on.
Mm-hmm. And you also get 2 more questions if you want to.
What here is not what it seems. And I think that's it.
Well, yeah, okay. So... Yeah, so you realized you figured out exactly which photograph that he's looking at. And it's kind of, he was just sort of, what it seemed as though he was looking at it idly. It looks, as you kind of are examining things more, and you see he's had like a, there's also a ledger that is closed on the desk where he's sitting. He's been doing something with it, that seems to have, it must have been involved with something that he was writing down during that meeting that he was having with those other people. The thing is, the photograph that he's looking at is of his daughter. You've met his daughter. You know her. She is close to your age. She's a little younger. And the thing you realize and kind of notice is that, again, he's concealing it pretty well, but he's looking at it with a sense of loss. And that's kind of odd to you because you'd not heard there was anything wrong with her. Or, anything. What was... at least, not when you were last here or last you heard in any correspondence.
Evie will just, take note of it, but like pretty much just kind of like, okay, like there's obviously something going on, and she will want more information before she tries to push forward a little bit more with asking him, because he seems to be very uncomfortable and she doesn't want to push too hard.
Yeah. But so he does, as he's kind of looking, he says, "So you got we can make an arrangement if you want to start bringing things on the regular, and we can make sure that we do pay you for them, we buy them from you. If you want to set something like that up, like a contract. In the meantime, though, I mean, just as heck, you want to show me what you got? We can talk business right now if you like."
Yeah, that sounds lovely. I can actually leave my my samples with you, and I noticed that you had some, other friends and everything. So I would also like to some, kind of mingle in that circle, because it'd be nice to have some more connections and more traders to know. So I can leave that with you, and you can open that door for me if possible.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Just leave them with me. I'll have a look at them. I'll have send them around to them folks, and we'll definitely get to that.
That sounds delightful. And would you happen to know where I can find a really good whiskey? There's a dear friend of mine that really likes his alcohol.
Ah. Yeah, there's the best whiskey to be found on this island. Yeah. Now. Yeah, there's a yeah, let me see. Yeah, there's a traders should have one bottle of the aged stuff. The aged whiskey. That should be really up the alley of whoever you're looking for. And he writes down some information, and he hands it to you. It's the name of one of the traders in the market.
Okay. Evie takes that and thanks Mr. Gardner. Thank you so much, Mr. Gardner, and she gives him all her samples.
Yeah.
And like I'll be back so that way we can discuss contracts and whatnot.
Excellent. Be happy to. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Turpentine?
You're looking for turpentine.
Was that not obvious? Yeah. Turpentine. And wormwood, vinegar. She
Oh,
pauses and
certainly.
sort of-
Yeah. No, we've actually been getting more of stuff in, especially for folks is trying to maintain and rebuild vessels, that kind of thing. Yeah. Hang on. And he takes out another piece of paper, and he'll write down another vendor, and he will hand it to you.
I use it for urinary problems.
Well, that is
You
unfortunate.
got to nil, it'll get you just pissing like the sea yourself.
Evie just smiles and says, Orla keeps all of us alive.
I can see that. I can see how, yes. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Orla.
She's already looked away.
Right. Alright, well, if there's nothing else, I guess I'm gonna close up shop.
Evie just, hugs him again and then leaves.
Alright. Does Orla also leave?
It takes her a second to realize. It just a second long enough to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like that one friend where like everyone else has left and they're still like looking through your movies going like, oh, you've got Jurassic Park 3 but not 1. That's weird.
Isn't it though? Isn't it? Let's see, you were looking through you're looking through his stuff. I can also, I mean, do you want to, do you also want a thing of reading the situation since you've been just sort of here looking through it, or?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. Is that
And
is
again,
that
is
brains?
roll plus brain, yeah.
Okay.
$13 is very good. You get 3 questions.
All right. Let's see. So she's gonna ask. Well, my Google Drive decides to not load.
Oh no!
Here we go. Okay, so she's going to ask. I think it's going to be the same questions she asked last time, honestly. What here is not what it seems. And who or what is my biggest threat? And who or what is most vulnerable to me? Those are different questions than last time. I lied.
Aha! So, um, biggest threat, vulnerable. What was the first one? It was not what it seems. So, yeah, the thing that you're kind of looking around and sort of you've been sort of checking on. It's you think that, yeah, even just from the positioning of things and documents and things around, you've seen people put things on their on desks and what have you before, as though they had nothing to hide, and he is not doing things that way. The stuff in that ledger looks like it's being kept very close to the vest. If you didn't know any better, you would say that he's doing something that he's doesn't want everyone to know about. With the business, biggest threat. It's not so much him as whoever it is that has their hooks in him. He's not a direct threat per se, unless you think maybe he's pushed. Sort of size him up, figuring that out. You don't get the impression that he wants to. He wants there to be conflict. He seems to be, if anything, wanting to smooth over any conflict, but it's whoever he's smoothing that conflict over on behalf of that is probably the problem. Also, there is something he's afraid of. And who or what is most vulnerable to me also. You get the sense that not everything is right in his house, as it were. And I'm not talking about immediately, physically. It's his household. It's like maybe something to do with whatever this is that he's afraid of. Connected perhaps in some way to some of these photos on the desk. And, he is vulnerable to some kind of outside manipulation, which, having perhaps engaged in or had an understanding of how to engage in such activities before, you might see as it's like, yeah, there are, there's like nothing in here that's like any paintings of the ocean or anything like that. It may be there's, the sea might be a slight problem to him perhaps as well.
She does leave eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, Evie pops her head in like, Orla, come on.
What? Yeah.
We're going. Let's go get some whiskey.
She's that friend who stays too late and comments on how late it is.
Yeah. I love it. So, because I think the two of you are going to be heading out, and you're going to, probably if you're heading back through the market, you're probably going to run into Elias. And let me see here. Which block do I want to put in place where? Okay. Yeah. I think certain amounts. A certain amount of time is going on with the other folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this for just this moment. Yeah, you're gonna come back and you're going to see. You're gonna see as you're sort of heading back to the marketplace, presumably to go and pick things up. As you have we're going to say that you have picked things up already, if you wish. Basically, as you go and you buy things,
Right.
they give you good prices, and you do see Elias, also just sort of looking around the marketplace.
Yeah, he's just kind of on kind of like looking around for certain things. Like a fair bit of his practical, just like lumber and rope, like it's fairly like infrastructure type things that the ship would need, and stuff that the others wouldn't be like necessarily inclined to pick up.
Yeah, they have much more lumber and ropes than they did here last time.
Hmm. It's quite a bit of supply. Any reason for the surplus?
As there's sort of this older gentleman telling him, well, we're getting more of this stuff in.
Hmm.
Also sending more lads out to kind of started making more use of the trees here.
Oh, that's interesting. Hopefully no accidents, I presume. You hear things.
He nods. Yeah. Does pretty well here. Does pretty well.
Oh, it's good. Glad to see that some bit of the trade's picking up.
He nods. And you, basically, Orla and Evie, you see him having this conversation.
Evie's just standing back and smiling. Like, okay. Trying to see how other people do business.
Orla is also observing this, but she stands too close.
Yeah. So Elias, as you're having this conversation, you are going to notice Orla, because it's like, as you're kind of just sort of, he sort of is turning around and he's preparing to get your order set up, and you just sort of glance back, and Orla's just standing there.
It's like, afternoon, just like,
Captain.
Doc, how's business with you and Miss Evie going?
They don't have eucalyptus.
It's that was a bit of a long shot, but yeah.
I got turpentine for your piss, though. Not to worry.
It's like
Evie starts
Anyways.
coughing, trying to pretend she didn't hear anything.
and just kind of like, even though the sentence has ended, he just, instead of trying to talk over it, yes, well, we're down by the docks. We probably arranged for it to, I can get some of my men to pick it up here shortly, or...
No, I've already got the turpentine. It's here. If you need it now, I can
yeah,
get,
like I'm
I can
talking
get
to
you.
you.
I
Yeah.
can get you a nice little thing just going. Get you that good healthy stream. I know. You the pain bad? You look uncomfortable. Is that? Can you open your mouth for me here? She goes for it. She's the kind. She does not understand boundaries. She does not understand a lot of things. She just like mouth. I got meant for that too. Don't worry.
Evie's not sure if she should help him or not. She's enjoying herself.
And I think you can kind of see his eyes, like just kind of silently saying, "Help, help, 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 help."
Your order's ready. Should I just have it sent to your ship?
Just like, kind of like, sigh at him. Right?
Oh, that was the lumbering beast, yeah?
Yeah.
Beast of
What?
burden.
Uh,
It'll be the Beast of Burden.
Beast of burden. Beast of burden. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'll have it sent out there.
and he'll just kind of like gently place Orla's hands out of his mouth. Much obliged there, my good man. And then just like place the proper money, and then like probably a little bit more just for him having been put through this.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. And he takes it. He arranges to have his have one. He'll tell you. And when the lads come back, I'll have them take it right out.
Sorry. Glad we could do business. And good evening to you. They just like kind of, just kind of like just start.
It is in fact.
Casually.
Sorry.
Just casually walking away.
It is in fact getting closer to evening. The sun is going to be going down probably fairly soon. So I just need to know what now. Lily, did you stay there in the bar for a while, sitting and chatting, or did you eventually get up and leave, or what did you want to do?
Well, I think I finished my drink with her,
Mm-hmm.
and and then I kind of got I guess a little annoyed with all the people being all fake happy and drinking and all of it. And then I think she probably would have tried to get back to Lachlan to get some of the lowdown of things that she might use, information she might use on the island, since hopefully he'll have a little bit more time for her now when there's nobody right on top of them.
Yeah, once things calm down a little bit, there is a bit of a break around when the sun is starting to is gonna be coming down. Although you do know from experience that once the sun is down, there will be a run on the bar, and so anyone who is not in town and likes to drink is going to be here in a in a little bit. But you do have a little bit of time. So you will go. You'll chat with him for a little bit. What do you want to try to find out?
Just try to find out a little bit more about Vaughn and the other people in charge on the other island. Just see if there's a little bit, is there some information that we could use to wiggle ourselves over there to find out more about what's going on, because she's Snoopy. She wants to know.
Well, so he'll tell you. I don't actually have a lot of direct knowledge of them folk over there. Pretty much everything I know is bound in this island. But I know that some of the traders do work with them. So you might want to talk to either Mr. Gardner or one of his associates. They probably will know a bit more about that. As far as anything with that fella Vaughn and his industry over there. It's as far as I know, those are the ones that interact with him the most.
And what do we know about Mr. Gardner and his sudden elevation in status? It seems like he made off pretty good on the backs of the poor people here who can't really afford much anymore.
Well, I mean, he's not a... Roland's not a bad fella. It's just that he's doing what he can. He's had some difficulties, some family difficulties recently, and so he has to, as he's trying to adjust, and it's he's sort of buried himself in his work and is doing what he can to kind of keep things going. And
what happened
he might
to
be a bit
him?
overzealous as a result. There is a certain degree of bitterness that goes around between folks as a result. I will say that.
What happened? What happened to his family? Somebody pass away?
Not exactly. His daughter a little while
exactly.
ago went into the woods.
Into the woods.
Yeah.
What? To find some mushrooms.
They're opening up. They're trying to do a little bit of opening up of the lumber trade here, and she was looking into that. She was very much into. She's very much into botany and so forth. Study a natural life. She went out there to study it, and well, I reckon that as she didn't come back, that sort of sent Gardner into a bit of a point where he wanted to shore up his defenses.
This island isn't all that big. How does anybody go missing in those woods? Did they not look for her?
Oh, of course they did, but sometimes people go in, they find other ways. They go in, not everyone comes back out.
Other ways? Does that mean we need to be careful? Or is there some way that we can keep ourselves safe? This sounds a little to me.
They dodge.
Yeah. Sometimes you see it's the forces of nature. They'll want to work with you and protect you. Sometimes they won't. Most of the ones want to be close to it and are allied with it. Nature understands. They're not gonna,
So
maybe they're not
what
gonna
did his
hurt.
daughter do to make the woods mad at her if
Oh,
all she wanted to do was
No, it's quite the opposite. I think she's being protected. That's my guess, I should say. That's my hope. That's also, that's my hope. That's what I'm
that the woods kept her to keep her safe? Never considered that. Thank you so much for your help. That has given me some insight. I always
anytime.
appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, of course, anytime. I do always enjoy taking time with you.
Absolutely, the lovers of the secrets do. But we don't have a secret handshake yet, so I'm not even going to pretend it. So, did you make any amazing stew lately that I could taste?
I have something very much to show you. He cackles a little bit and he goes and gets it. So you're going to spend a little more time there, presumably, is what we got going.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then after finishing visiting with him and talking shop, it's time to head back to the ship, because really we didn't really need much from resupplying for the kitchen, as we still had most of it, but she did want to get her refills of her secret spices.
Okay. So you're going to be sleeping back on the ship?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I want to come back around to Barney and find out what you're doing after you have had your vision and you got up and you did something. Some time has passed.
Yeah.
When you come back
First
to your
off,
senses.
one question about that vision, actually. Did it seem like whatever is happening that's making the fish leave or go to the other island and be trapped there, is that a result of the sea being mad, or is the sea mad because something else is causing that?
If you had to guess, you'd think maybe a little of column A, a little of column B.
All right. She works in mysterious ways.
It's like something perhaps is definitely making the sea mad.
Right.
And, as kind of a result, then there's a reaction.
Right. I think he would probably, initially go back to the inn, drink a little bit more, and then just sort of sit somewhere near the docks or like lean up against a pole and just sort of wait to see if Evie comes back.
Okay, well, let's find out. So, Evie and Orla and Elias, having done this, and people are starting to close up shop, where do you go at this point?
Evie's gonna go back to the ship where her stuff is.
Okay.
Yeah, Elias is probably just going to get back to the ship. Probably just wait on the docks for a little while until the lumber shipment comes back in, then just like help them put them where they would be kept.
Okay.
Orla's she has some stuff to drop off at the ship because she did buy herbs and things. But she is one to wander at night for reasons. So she won't stay on the ship all night.
Okay. So more immediately then, everyone's going to be heading in the direction of the ship. And I think that, timing being what it is, I think that, Barney, you're going to spot Orla and Evie and Elias first, as they're all basically together, as they're kind of heading, crossing over toward the dock. It looks like they're heading they're going to be heading in the direction of the ship, it looks like.
Right. I'll first say, "Oi, Captain.
Hey?
I don't think we should stay here long. Get our supplies, head out. Something's not right in the waters."
I trust your judgment there. I may have to touch base with some folks over in Cadarn. I can't get my mind off of. Then kind of like nods towards the gate, that thing there.
It's not right. Can't tell if they're trying to keep something from out there out, or keep everything else in.
Either way, ain't right.
No, it's not.
And I think also at this point will be when Lily will be exiting the pub, and you're going to come out and you're going to see your crewmates sort of standing there on the edge of the dock. Well, the edge is the wrong word. Entryway to the dock. There we go. Under a lamppost. Which is being lit, actually, even now. There's a guy going around. He's lighting the lamps.
Evie, did you get whiskey for me?
Did I get whiskey for you? It's like you're looking right into my bag.
At that, Orla holds hers a little tighter.
Come share a drink with me, Evie.
Well, you know I don't drink, but of course I'm going to get some for you. And then Evie just hands it to him. And she goes, I've heard this is the best.
As he like takes it from his hand, he doesn't he grabs onto the bottle or the stem as you're holding the bottle, and just says, "Evie, you should come have a drink with me."
Okay.
Blarney, you're old. While we're here.
It's Barney. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this.
That's what I said. You're old. You, while we're here, don't be shy. If there is something, what ails you, let me know. They might have it here. How are things moving? How was,
She's got stuff for movement, and Evie looks at Elias.
I do. I've got some turpentine if you're having problems urinating. I've got, there is some bark that I can look for if you're having trouble out the other end. There's,
Things are moving just fine, Orla. And the only way I'll be moving is onto that ship to share this drink with Evie. You go
All
off and do
right.
your wandering.
if this is a matter of pride, we all know you're old. No one's hiding it.
I've made it this far.
I tend to see you keep on making it. Just let me know if you need to slip a note. I'll take a note. That goes for any of you.
Lily, are you going to just walk on past this, or are you going to stop and talk to them? Just curious.
Lily, you're almost old.
I'm gonna try to pull over Evie. I'm completely ignoring Orla. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to try and pull Evie over and try and engage her in a conversation about, what our Ronwyn, what's her name?
It was
Rosenwyn.
Rosenwyn.
Rosenwyn, was telling me that, Evie might actually be able to maybe help them with their predicament, or making, their fate a little better. Not that I know how, but, just that she can keep it in the back of her mind. And it's like, there, Orla. You go ahead and you go play, girl. You go play. And then she kind of stops and goes back to her galley.
Okay.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do in this scene?
I think Orla's been sufficiently dismissed by everybody.
Evie loves Orla, so I don't.
I think she's gonna just sort of look, and then just wander into the darkness.
There she goes again. I'm not right about her.
Adam's probably gonna stick around a while longer. Make sure she doesn't hurt herself into the waves.
Yeah, over her shoulder, Lily probably, did something dismissive, like, "I'll get you a treat later, girl," just kind of like, yeah, go play. I'll get you a treat later.
Eat some skin.
Is it a ball to balance on my nose?
He just gets it a little on the pink side. Okay, on the red and drippy side, but that's okay.
It's chum.
Yeah.
It's chum.
All right. So, as you're all dispersing to do your various things, mostly just hitting up the ship, I think, for most of you, and then Orla will be wandering about, and Elias will be also just making sure Orla's okay.
Yeah.
I do wanted to ask Orla, when you go wandering, are you going to wander more sort of shoreside, or are you going to go more inland?
She's going to go to those caverns that she knows about, because this is her wandering is always very secretive. So she's probably going to head towards the woods, towards those little hidey holes that she knows of.
Okay. Yeah, one tiny amendment I'm going to make is they don't actually run completely throughout the island. There is a chunk of the island. This is more, I would say, sort of the front and side of the island where the caverns go. But
she'll go for a secluded place to find a way into the sea without raising too many questions.
So, the one question I have is whether or not Captain McLean is going to be successful at following you and seeing perhaps you do that.
It'll be really great for him and then really weird immediately after.
So,
That's what that's what you say about every time you sleep with someone.
I think I think, Elias, if you're following at a distance, am I reading that right? Or are you trying to hang out with her?
Probably just to keep a distance because there is some curiosity about what she gets up to at night.
Yeah, you
I
perv.
need you to act under pressure for me. Please roll plus
Buddy got a
balance.
crush.
Finally, something I'm good at. Okay. Wait, nope, that's wrong. +2. I can keep it though. Same modifier if you're cool with it.
Oh, right. It's your balance is +2.
Yeah, balance is 2 as well, just
Yeah, no,
because
you can
captain
roll
things.
with that. That's fine.
All right.
So that was a 9. You falter, buckle, or break, the GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. So here's the thing. You're gonna have to go a little bit into the woods to see this.
I think once Orla goes in, he kind of stops a little bit, just on the edge to steel himself. Then, very much more cautiously, walks in.
So, Orla, what is Elias going to see happening?
Oh, it's gonna be the best and worst night of his life. So she essentially changes clothing, basically. She's gonna, put her bag down, kind of look around a little bit, and then swiggity swooty, here comes that booty. It's gonna be, great for a second, and then all of a sudden she's, sort of airing out her seal skin and just sort of slips it on, and suddenly there's a seal.
You then presumably dive into this little pool and go down. Yeah. You see that. Elias, right after you see that, you hear an owl from very nearby. And you turn around, and it appears, for a moment, that you are face to face with your father. And we're going to end right there. That's where we're going to end this week.
Love that.
All right.
Love ghosts.
Well, we shall. That was our first full RP episode of Alas for the Awful Sea. We have 2 more to go to see where this whole thing takes us. We're gonna go around again the opposite direction from where we started, and feel free to say where folks can find you and any thoughts you have about this session. And we shall start with Vivacia.
All right, so on Twitch, you can find me as Vivacia. You can find me on the Twitter as Miss Vivacia. I'm a variety streamer. I like to hang out with Jim in his one-shots. Actually, one of his one-shots has inspired me. I actually going to be playing in December an adventure, a Cthulhu adventure, but it's going to be in the Wild West, which I'm wondering if, that might be, I don't know if they're just like the Badlands too. And that's going to be on Uncanny Adventures. I'm also playing in a mini campaign at the Great Canadian Guide, which is a Pathfinder game where we're in the city of Flan, and oh my god, we are the socially awkward 4. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot make worse for us. But I'm not quite sure when the next game is going to be. So now when we come to today, did you have to do this to me with this cliffhanger? This is just wrong. This is just so wrong.
You're upset.
Yes, absolutely. It's not even my character. I'm upset.
I'm naked.
Don't
and
worry,
fine with
your
it.
character will be in next week's cliffhanger.
Oh my lord. Yeah, and else I had a lot of fun today. I mean we've been kind of getting into the role of things and figuring out how to actually do these moves. And I think this was the first one where we kind of halfway failed. So the more interesting stuff is going to come when we completely screw it up. And you're going to make it really hard on us. Well, that's my thoughts.
Shall have to see. Excellent. All right. Speedy.
Yes. Jim.
How you
You're
doing?
a madman.
It's true.
The intrigue has already set in, and I'm very excited to see where this goes next. The sea is mad, and I don't much want to see her get much madder. As for me, my name is Speedy. You can find me everywhere as Not So Speed Runs, on Twitch and the Twitter. And you can also follow me, me community of streamers with mental illness on Twitter at Cast Together. That's cast, like you're casting a rod out into the sea, catching fish. Oh wait, there are no fish here. They're all dead, just like we will be in 2 episodes.
Excellent. No, I'm not. It's hopefully not everyone will be dead in 2 episodes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, it's very, very glad we're getting into it now. We're getting into it. And hey, Michi.
Hi. I'm over here like, we're gonna die? What? I'm Michi. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, everywhere as Witty Michi. I'm a variety streamer, so I stream a variety of things. This is my first time doing something like this, so I hope that I did okay. Sorry if you hear huffing, my dog wants pets. So, my thoughts on today, something fishy's going on. That's all I can think.
Something distinctly not fishy is going on.
The problem.
Yeah, I mean, Evie wants to find out, but she's also trying to be like really subtle about it. But I had a lot of fun running around with Orla.
Michi, there have been requests to see the popper.
Hey. Yay.
He's such a big boy. I love.
Ah, there it is. Yay. Did you have anything else? Cool. Awesome. Yay. No, it's been very enjoyable getting to see your character network with folks. It's been really cool. And Levi, hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm fine. He was not fine, but this was great. I'm glad we finally got to see just about all the ship the cruise dynamics in practice.
Ship dynamics works fine.
Because boat and
My ass.
they no that could go loud. Yeah, the relationship between Elias and Orla can go a lot of different ways, and that is something that could be very interesting to explore if we can. If I don't die. But yeah, I'm Levi97 on the Twitters. Tomorrow you can find me on twitch.tv/CapricornCross. The finale of this little, this current arc of Chronicles of Cascaris. For plot reasons, I'm playing a duck. And then you can see me at levi-trips.ish.io for any design stuff. Then that brings us back around to today.
How often does one hear, for plot reasons, I am playing a duck? So rare, so rare. Awesome.
I still don't have a duck emote. That is just wrong. I need one.
It need to happen.
Mark said that if it gets the next sub slot, it will be a duck emote.
Nice.
Dobby the Duck, the character that I'm kind of Jaegering.
Nice.
The closest that I got is a Fruitzilla. Oh, they're duckies. Male duckies.
I
Nice,
have a
nice.
guinea pig.
And Brittany.
I'm Brittany, and for plot reasons, I am playing a seal. You can find me on social media at Casual Halfling. I enjoy doing things like this, so if there is a upcoming stream or anything of that nature, hit me up on Twitter. I'm typically haunting Jim's one-shots and otherwise, so you typically find me lurking in the background at least. And this has been very interesting. It's a lot more sinister and intriguing than I expected, and I don't know why I didn't expect it, because it's Jim. So he was threatening us in our Discord chat every time we made puns, so I feel like at least half of this is actual punishment. So I don't know how much of it is just, regular punishment and how much of it is very personal punishment.
I mean, it's not half. I mean, it's not quite half.
Oh, so it's completely punishment.
No,
I get
no.
it now. I
No,
understand.
Not completely.
I fully
no,
understand.
It's not even half. Although, I must say,
Don't act like Jim isn't sadistic enough to just punish us regardless of what we do.
Right, right. Like, look at what he's doing to Elias. He's gonna have a hoot of a time.
You never know what's coming. Never.
The
I
owls
guess it's
are
not going to
what
be
they
shadow
seem.
people this time, so now I'm really not sure what's going to be.
So, yes, I am very excited to see what happens moving forward.
Excellent. Awesome. Me too. Me too. All right. Well, that's back to me then. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. On Saturdays, here on this channel, we have our Invisible Sun campaign, The Age of Paradox, Saturday evenings. On Sundays, we do one-shots. The one-shot coming up this Sunday will be Scum and Villainy, being run by our guest GM, Brian. Very much looking forward to that. I've never actually played any of the
I
Forged
love
in the Dark
Scum
stuff.
and Villainy.
Yay! Yeah. I'm looking for. I gotta get the cast together for that. Finally, I gotta actually send them emails and stuff. Well, emails. What is that? I gotta send them messages and stuff. So gotta do that very very soon, almost immediately, and get that all together. That's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. Then, of course, on Monday evenings. At 9 Eastern, I am over on Tales from the Grim, running Deadlands. We are 2 episodes in. We are 2 episodes in, and they've already had a couple major fights, and now things will hopefully settle down a little bit as they get to interact more. And I'm just interested to see where they're gonna go and how they're gonna do it. And so it brings me great joy running that game, and I'm glad that I'm getting the opportunity. So That's going to be
He
happening
also
Monday.
dresses up beautifully for that, by the way.
There's-
By the way, kudos for that dress up.
There's a hat and everything. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But sign-ups are now open for the last one-shot of the month. That's going to be 50 Fathoms. That is another nautical thing. It is Savage Worlds. It's one of their earliest settings that they did for Savage Worlds. Basically, a sort of fantasy world, but it's at sea, at this place where the land was buried under 50 fathoms of water by these sea hags, who are now just sort of kind of ruling things through their curse. And folks now also drift in from Earth to from the age of piracy as well, to mingle with the strange species that are already there. So that's something I've been wanting to run for quite a long time, and so I'm going to give it a shot on 1 week from Sunday. So the sign-ups are open for that. You can again click on RPG sign up below, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up, and it will be there. Sign-ups will also be opening soon for a couple of things. There is going to be a new campaign on this channel in 2020. We're going to have an actual longer than a month campaign, another one, coming up. Details will be forthcoming. Sign-ups are happening very soon, so watch for that.
Don't tempt me.
It's a different genre, but I will announce more about that probably over social media in a little bit. And, of course, then sign-ups also will be coming up for next month's short campaign, which will actually, it's only going to be a 3-session thing. I'm going to be running Fiasco in Trainwreck mode. 3 sessions connected of Fiasco. And the way I want to try to do it will be one that's kind of hard on us possibly, but I want to try to do that mode where everything's happening simultaneously. We'll see. We'll see. I may have to go chronologically since I've never done it in that mode before, but I want to give it a shot. So we'll be opening signups for that soon as well. As always, beginners are more than welcome. So when we hit the end card, let's see. Lindy is streaming. Let's go raid Lindy. We'll be doing that. She is currently running her Mists of Ravenloft game, which is 45 episodes in. So let's do that. Hopefully before, I don't know how close she is to the end there, but let's go say hi. And you're of course more than welcome, if you so desire, to hang on and say hi with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care, and I will see you next week. Farewell.